Hey, my name is Gary. I'm a grateful recovering alcoholic. So I was, I got up, well, I'm dealing with the loss of my son, okay? I'm an alcoholic and drug addict in recovery. And I lost my son 2 weeks ago today. 2 weeks ago today, my son died from a accidental fentanyl overdose in Long Beach, California. And I got the news from my oldest son. He came to my door 2 weeks ago, late at night, knocked on the door, and he had to deliver that news to his dad about his brother, which was, I can't even, the pain is so great, I can't even describe. It was just debilitating and crippling, and he watched his dad melt onto the floor and weep and go through all kinds of stuff, physically angry and weeping and crying out for my baby boy. Something no brother or son should ever have to deliver that kind of news. But he was a strong kid, and he did it. He did what he had to do, and he did it with grace and dignity, and he was there for his dad for however long that took. And he goes, he says, "Dad, I'm so sorry, you know." And he held me, and he held my hand. So I'm going to try to keep it together for this. It's been hard 2 weeks, man. And I'm still sober and going to meetings, working steps, back to work. But today, I'm not functioning well, I'm trying, I'm doing the best I can. But I woke up today and I couldn't get up, when the alarm went off, and I took my dog. I slept till about 10 o'clock, which is just totally uncharacteristic of me, I'm an early riser, and I get up anywhere between 3:30 and 5:30 in the morning. So I did that, got up, took my dog out, got a coffee, and, kind of just try to wear this program of Alcoholics Anonymous wherever I go, And I live in Austin, Texas. I live about a mile from downtown, maybe a mile and a half. So I went to this little trail right by the Colorado River that runs from downtown Austin and just kind of winds its way right through the heart of the city. That's why it's such a cool fucking city. That's one of the reasons why it's cool in a lot of ways. And I called a friend that's known me 20 years, and he's in AA, and he said, you're off your deal. And because I call him in the morning at like 3:30, and I say, wake up, Snookums, it's time to work out, right? And usually I'm the one, and he's concerned, and he knows I'm spiritually fit, though. He can tell that I'm spiritually fit and I'm doing the right things. I just don't feel good. I'm brokenhearted, man. So, I'm telling you guys this because I want to be helpful and useful. So I got to just be honest with everybody, right? Like if you were to take a walk around my apartment, I would cringe because it looks like a fucking drunk has been here. I'm looking at cans and bottles, and not beer cans or anything. It's like soda cans or Monster drinks and fucking Mountain Dew and Starbucks cups, and you know, I haven't fucking cleaned. I'm just, you know, I'm totally off right now. And it seems like to try to put it together to clean my apartment, and it's getting worse and worse and worse. It seems like an impossible task for me. Like getting out of bed this morning was just, I just didn't care. I didn't care. I didn't care that, you know, there's a company of people that needed me today, and, you know, we had a meeting today, and I didn't care. So I know, I usually care, and I'm usually like, you know, I help run that meeting and go through all the jobs and everything that we've got on the board and where we're at with ordering, and, you know, I'm into everything, you know, because I'm a control freak. So my jobs run well, and always have, and I'm good at what I do. Not right now. I'm just, you know, and I'm usually a little bit cocky, and, you know what, let me tell you, this is what's cool. I got to tell you this story. I was at work yesterday. Most of the people at work appreciate what I'm doing, and appreciate my knowledge, and, you know, they give me a lot of room and a lot of freedom to do what I need to do, and to you know, I'm a project manager, so I run jobs. I do, you know, make sure the jobs get ordered, make sure the drawings get, you know, I manage projects, okay, whatever that entails for the day. Sometimes it's interaction with the guys who install this stuff, the glass and the metal and all that stuff. And I got into it with a guy. I'm new to this company, and, you know, I'm a little rough around the edges sometimes, and you know, I'm an asshole sometimes. But I let this guy one morning, he was kind of trying to prove a point to me, and doing it kind of, you know, he was being kind of an asshole, and I fucking let him have it, right? I told him what I think of him, which, you know, it could have been a lot more constructively put together, right? You know, like, you know, I think I kept, you know, I don't think I called him an asshole. He called me an asshole many times, right? He's like, "You're a fucking asshole, man." And I'm like, "Yeah, well, I sleep well at night, you know, I'm fine." But it was toxic, you know. It was, Bobo, come on, I'm doing a video, bud. So, go on, go play with Bob. Go on. So, we have this toxic interaction together one morning, and then he's like, "Well, fuck you, I'm calling the owner of the company." And I'm like, "Well, yeah, here, call him right now," you know, type thing. So, I don't know, the owner settled us both down in his own way, right? And neither one of us got fired, because we're both good guys, and we're construction workers, man. I mean, that's the shit that happens when we didn't go to fucking Ivy League schools and learn how to talk to people, right? You hit them with a fucking 2x4 when you want to get their attention. So I hit him with my 2x4, and he hit me with his. It was all verbal, and you know, we were stubborn. So, like the last, I don't know, it's been about a month, we don't talk to each other, and they've kept us away from each other. Like, all the shit that he's been running or working on, you know, they've now directed that to a different project manager, right? Keep him away from Gary, and we'll keep him away from Gary, and Gary away from him, type thing, because we don't want a fucking lawsuit or have anybody killed at 6 a.m. So, and I know this guy hated my fucking guts that day. He wanted to fucking kill me. And the way I am, I'm like, okay, bring it, man. You know, cool, bring it. You know, you want to fucking kill me? It was toxic. There was nothing healthy about it. I was trying to prove my point. He was trying to tell me, prove his. And I think we got it. We got our points across. So I'm at work yesterday, kind of fucking just out having a cigarette. You know, I started smoking again once I found out my son had overdosed. They say smoke before you drink, and drink before you shoot yourself. So I went to the smoking, and I remain sober. And I'm going to quit smoking when I'm ready. First, I got to clean my apartment. But I'm going to finish this story first. So I go in there, and I'm not going to share his name, and I'm not going to share his story, because that wouldn't be fair. But I can share his spirit with you. And he comes walking across the shop with his hand out, right? And you can see it in his eyes. The sadness and understanding. And he said, hey man, I'm fucking sorry about your son. And he meant it. And he said, I know the pain you're going through. And he told me his story. And we had a cigarette together. We talked a little bit. And I know we both walked away from that situation with a different respect for one another. If I wasn't sober, who knows? I probably wouldn't even be at work, you know? I wouldn't be able to experience those kind of gifts. Those are the kind of gifts that's the juice God gives me to reveal himself to me and says, you know, keep going, Gary. I know you're on a tough journey right now. Keep pulling that cart, and I'm going to give you a push every once in a while. So, it's a beautiful thing, Alcoholics Anonymous. It keeps me sober. It gives me the tools to live my life on a daily basis. It gives me a deeper understanding for love and compassion. And it keeps this imperfect picture of mental health out of handcuffs, out of jail, away from the judge, away from fistfights, and calling people assholes, bitches, you know. Just my toxic behavior keeps it in check. And when that toxic behavior pops out of line, even though I didn't initiate it yesterday, it kept me willing and open to that guy's hand, and that he reached out and said, hey man, I'm sorry. And sorry for your loss. Sorry for the loss of your son. I don't want to do life ever any differently than this. This is the most painful experience hopefully I'll ever have to walk through again. You never know. Life is always coming at you, man. I think I've gotten up and brushed myself off. And I have some kind of, the only direction that I know that I have right now, because I don't know what's going to happen, is I know I want to stay sober. And I know how to do that. It's a program of we, so I do it in Alcoholics Anonymous in meetings. I do it on the telephone. I do it telling guys, hey, here's where I'm at today. Guys with like 20 years of sobriety, like my buddy. And saying, hey, you know, here's where I'm at today, and I'm fucking just off, dude. And help, man. Like, you know, here's where I'm at. And then I help other people less fortunate than me, or that don't have this background in Alcoholics Anonymous. Maybe I can help somebody get sober. Maybe I can just reach out my hand. Maybe it's just not being a fucking dickhead to the next guy that pops off at the mouth to me at work. However that is, I try to wear Alcoholics Anonymous everywhere I go, and I do it really imperfectly. And that's where God comes in. I need God. I got to seek God with all these defects of character, with my sadness, I can burden him with all of this pain, and he gives me those gifts like yesterday. So there's so many gifts and so much light all around this thing. I veer off into the dark, but I refuse to stay there. So, thanks for listening to me babble. Remember, the 5-day God challenge, please. If you're an alcoholic, if you think you might be an alcoholic, if you think you're an addict or may be an addict, if you're having trouble with alcohol and drugs, I ask you to get on your knees for 5 minutes, 5 days in a row. Ask God for help. Ask God to give you the strength to get to an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting or a Narcotics Anonymous meeting. And ask Him for the strength to raise your hand and say, hey, I'm having a hard time with alcohol or drugs. Or just, you know what, just sit there. Have the God help me just sit there, sit on my hands and listen and see what happens. And then go live your life and try to help someone. Try that for 5 days and let me know let me ask God God, please reveal yourself to me. He has to me so many times. I can't even, I can't even explain. It's just so awesome. So I'm going to take a nap. I'm going to try to clean my apartment today, and I'll let you know how that goes, okay? I'm not sure that I'm going to succeed, but I just made myself accountable. So by tomorrow when I turn this thing on, I'll have a fucking clean apartment, okay? There, I just made myself accountable. I'm going to ask God to give me the strength to clean my apartment. Sounds simple, but it's really tough right now because of where I'm at. So thank you. Check in with you tomorrow.